kind of surprising that with how popular Plants vs. Zombies is, we haven't gotten a full-blown animated series. The games have always had potential for some cool storytelling, and PopCap recognized this with the comic novels and the scrapped story game, Project Hot Tub, but there were hints and ideas that suggest that they initially had more planned. In this video, I'm going to cover all the times PVZ dabbled in animation, from promotional bits to full-on pitched cartoons. Before I dive into what's actually out there, I've got some never heard before info. If you remember my How Greed Changed PVZ video, I mentioned that I spoke to an ex-developer at PopCap who had a lot of influence over the franchise. The conversation I shared there was just a glimpse of what we discussed. During that chat, they mentioned a long-lost script for a PVZ animated short. There were multiple drafts of it, some even are rated R. That's pretty much all we know about this lost short, since nothing about it has been shared online. Unless EA gets data breached again, the chance of us ever seeing it are next to zero. Plants vs. Zombies vs. Jay and Silent Bob was a short animated series featuring the iconic stoner duo Jay and Silent Bob from Clerks, and now in the PVZ universe. These cartoons were made to promote the release of Plants vs. Zombies 2, which came out at the same time. It's a pretty wild crossover, considering Clerks isn't exactly age appropriate, especially with the characters like Jay and Silent Bob, who for those who are unfamiliar, are hippie stoners. They sell illegal drugs and explosives, so teaming them up with an all-ages IP like PVZ, known for its kid-friendly appeal, is an interesting choice. Surprisingly though, it was very popular among release. All 3 episodes racked up millions of views on YouTube, and for a limited time, they even aired on MTV in 2013. That's right, this was back on TV back then. Unfortunately, none of the articles about it on MTV were archived, so technically, this cartoon on MTV is now lost media. There are dead links that were meant to lead to the respective pages, but they just redirect to the homepage. If there are any lost media enthusiasts watching, it would be really cool if someone could archive this slice of PVZ history on MTV. At the end of the 3rd episode, a 4th one is teased, with Jay and Silent Bob in the Pirate Seas world and the text "To be continued" shown. Fans expected a 4th episode, but it never happened. Only 3 episodes were initially planned, so maybe a 4th one was pitched but didn't make it. Given the cartoon's popularity, it was likely some other factor left the series hanging.
Yo, I have been and always shall be your friend, Lunchbox. Now let's go eat some of them plants and brains.
Stephen Notley is a name that carries a lot of the classic PVZ charm. He wrote all of the almanac entries on PVZ 1 and contributed to the writing in PVZ 2. He left PopCap in 2022, making him one of the longest-serving employees starting back in 2005. In his later years, after PopCap's golden era had faded, he really pushed EA to do something with the brand, especially in animated series. He even pitched a pilot, which got completely ignored. In this pilot, the story unfolds from the perspective of the plants, specifically Peebs the Pea Shooter, Sunny the Sunflower, and Walter the Walnut. In this story, Sunflower finds a flyer for a singing contest and wants to sing Zombies on Your Lawn. Peebs isn't interested, but Sunny begs him and they go. When they arrive, it's a trap set by the zombies. As they're cornered, Sunny starts singing and the zombies join? They're having a sing-along until Peter and Snopes the Snow Pea burst in and start vanquishing the zombies. Sunny's upset at Peter for crashing the song when they're having a good time. Peebs comforts Sunny, and the story ends with her leaning into him. Oh my god, they put romance in my Plants vs. Zombies.
Hey, so, Sunflower, no.
Recap aside, this pilot is something. I wouldn't say it's the worst thing ever. PVZ 3 and some of the newer Dark Horse comics have even worse stories, but something feels a bit off. Like, the plants are talking instead of being mute protagonists? Where's Crazy Dave and Dr. Zomboss? Still, with more writers on the board, this could have been something great. Can't lie, I get a smile reading it because it has the golden era PvZ charm, but it definitely could have improved. Around 2019, EA was pushing hard on the PvZ reboot, with games like PvZ 3 and PvZ Battle for Neighborville using the new reboot designs. During this time, PopCap also looked into making a PvZ cartoon series to coincide with these releases. This theory is somewhat backed up by P-Shooter sharing design traits with the Garden Warfare look, with the Peapod arms and walking capabilities, although that could have been a style choice. PopCap reached out to Rich Werner, yes, the original PvZ artist, and commissioned him to make art for various scenes based off the script. And that was that. We don't know much about the script itself, but Rich has been slowly sharing more art from this project on his Twitter and selling the work on eBay. The cartoon would have centered around 4 plants: Pea-Shooter, Sunflower, Walnut, and Dandelion. An imp and Gargantuar show up frequently in the artwork and apparently have a dynamic similar to Master Blaster from Mad Max, according to Rich. The eBay listings gave us names for each scene so we can piece together some idea of the plot. One piece, called Boss Fight, shows Sunflower and Pea-Shooter engaging in a fight from afar, while Dandelion charges forward with what appears to be other dandelions or sunflowers. In the middle is a tree oozing green goo, with a zombie crawling away from it, covered in leaves and vines. An imp and Gargantuar are watching through the window, with Dr. Zomboss angrily observing from above. This seems to take place inside Zomboss' lair, possibly Z-Tech, though the colors don't match the in-game look, but that could have just been Rich Werner's artistic take. Another piece, titled Car Chase, shows Pea-Shooter, Sunflower, and Walnut making a getaway in an RC car while a horde of zombies chase them. The Imp and Gargantuar duo from before is also in the pursuit. In Fallnut, Walnut randomly falls from the sky in front of Pea-Shooter and Sunflower, who are hanging outside of the Zen Garden. Then there's Fired, focused on the Imp and Gargantuar duo. As the name implies, Dr. Zomboss fires the Imp, possibly for sucking off during the boss fight. There's a Bob Gargantuar in the Employee of the Month spot, which could be the same one from earlier, where he different Gargantuar entirely. This is one of the few times they've conveyed a real emotion through the zombies, and I actually kind of feel bad for the Imp. In Overlook, Pea-Shooter, Sunflower, and the Dandelion are looking over what appears to be Neighborville or possibly Suburbia. The final piece, Seedlings, shows Pea-Shooter and Sunflower planting seeds which look like baby walnuts. And that's all the pieces we know of. There are 3 model sheets of Pea-Shooter, Dandelion, and Walnut. The Pea-Shooter model sheet has various doodles of him with a sketch of Sunflower, and the Walnut has a version of Crazy Dave as a kid. This could imply that time travel was involved again, or that it took a place way before the first PvZ game. And that's everything I know so far. It's possible more info on these projects will surface in the future, but until then, thank you for watching.